We'll start with the Shanti mantra. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shruniyama Devaha Bhadyam Pashye Makshajiryatraha Stirairangaihi Sushtuvakum Sashtanubihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuho Swasti na Indro Vrittashravah Swasti na Pusha Vishvavedah Swasti nastakshorarishthanemihi Swasti no Brihaspatir Tadatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are in the 28th Karika of chapter 4 of Mandukya Upanishad. This chapter primarily consists of establishing Advaitam as the fundamental truth. Gaudapadacharya is debating with all other matams, all other philosophers. We have already seen Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaiseshika, Purva Mimamsa. And then in the last week and the week before that, we saw Buddhism, Bauddha Matam. In Buddhism, basically, there are two main contenders. One is Hinayani, who says there is an external world and you have to accept that truth. Mahayani, the Shanika Vijnanavadis, they say that everything is there in the mind. The world is there, but it is not outside, but it is inside the mind as vritti. So the Mahayana people, they are Vijnanavadis. For them, Vijnanam is primary importance. In this Karika, 28th Karika, Gaudapadacharya summarizes all the matams and then he's coming towards a conclusion in the 28th and the 29th Karikas. One must remember that we are talking of the highest truth at the highest level. These debates are not at the Vyavaharika level, but the debate is ultimately, how do I get moksha? It's a very, very fine argument made by different philosophers. Moksha means I must be free from this body-mind complex. That is ultimate destination. But in what way we arrive at the destination, and are we able to stand as that while living in this body? That is where Advaitam scores a point. And it says very clearly, you can experience that Advaita philosophy here and now, for which all these arguments are made. Last week, we stopped in this particular slide, and then there is a revision portion for the 28th Karika here, which says that every object which we see in the world, ultimately there is a karanam for that. Pot has got clay, chain has got gold, table has got wood. So according to Advaitin and other people also, they say that pot, chain, table are only names of the substance from which they are made up of. The substance clay lends existence to pot. Gold lends existence to chain. wood lends existence to table. Similarly, Brahman or Turiyam lends existence to the entire world. What is the world then? It is Nama Rupa. This is what is highlighted in Chandogya Upanishad, 6th chapter, 1st section, 4th mantra. When you study Chandogya Upanishad, Shankara Bashyam, Shankaracharya, again, there he has written a very beautiful commentary. So he says that everything can be reduced to Sat Brahman. Kathopanishad also says that through the mind alone we can realize the ultimate truth. And the ultimate truth, there is only Brahman. So I talked about Mahayani and Hinayani. So Mahayani says, once you see Chaitanya Swarupam clearly, without the objects, without the world, and you understand that that is the self of the individual and of the world. World has a self, I have the self. I am made up of Panchabhutas. So Hinayani was mentioned in Karika number 24. Shanika Vijnanavadi is what we are discussing right now. So Advaitin accepts seeming existence of the world and does not accept the real existence. See, this is where Advaitam is very, very different than all other matams. The Shanika Vijnanavadis, which is mentioned in the second quarter of the mantra, says that consciousness lasts only for a moment. Every moment there is a change in consciousness and the change in understanding the world. And there is nothing beyond this momentary consciousness. Whatever we experience is drishyam. It does not exist separate from momentary consciousness. That is what is the Shanika Vijnanavadis. So, origination of consciousness is nothing but appearance of the world. There is no origination separate from consciousness. See, consciousness is the base. So, Bahya Artha means outside objects are experienced, no doubt, but they are experienced inside the mind. What is Shankaracharya's commentary on this Shanika Vijnanavadis is what we are going to study in the following sections. In the next mantra and this mantra towards the end, we are going to study how Shanika Vijnanavadis are refuted by Gaudapadacharya. Like I said before, Shanika means momentary. Every observation requires a moment. Like you go to Tirupati and then they say, by the time you see the Lord, they say Jargandi. They say, move on, move on. Similarly, every experience we have, we are watching a mobile and then immediately we watch something else, we go and perceive the world, we go and eat something. All this is different perceptions during the whole day. So Mahayanavadi, who is Shanika Vijnanavadi, he says, he gives example of flowing river, which I mentioned last week. He gives his main two examples are the flowing river and the flame which is flickering. So in the river also, because it's a continuous stream, we think that the river is there. Similarly, our thought, because it is continuously there, we feel that it is the world exists outside permanently. I mean, this is his example, which Shankaracharya doesn't accept. What Shankaracharya says there has to be a Sakshi. A Sakshi means who is a witness to the momentary consciousness. According to Shankaracharya and Advaitin, the Shanika Vijnanavadins have taken up the Vritti Jnanam as the ultimate truth. But in Manisha Panchakam, the first verse itself says that there is a witness to this waking, dream, and sleep. Waking, dream, and sleep, they do appear. Apart from the appearance of the world in the waking, dream, and sleep, there is an independently existing, observing principle, which is what we call it as Satchidananda Swarupa. Dakshinamurti Stotram number 3, Yasyaiva Swaranam Sadatmakam Asatkalpartakam Bhasate. Whatever we experience appears to be asat. If everything is asat, what is sat then? Sat is the observer. There is a Nitya Vijnanam. Nitya Vijnanam means the ultimate consciousness which is ever there, which is watching the flow of the thoughts, flow of emotions in us. As soon as you get up, you start seeing the flow of perceptions. But the observer principle in us doesn't change. Even in Bhagavad Gita yesterday, when I was talking in the class, there is one continuously existing principle in childhood, youth, adulthood, old age. So that changeless Turiyam is what we are trying to analyze. The Shanika Vijnanavadas, they don't accept this Nitya Atma. There is another beautiful mantra which Shankaracharya quotes from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. All of you must note down this number 4323 because this is our real intrinsic nature. Very important verse. Whenever you want to meditate who I am, this verse you should keep at the back of your mind. What is the essence of this Brihadaranyaka Upanishad mantra? It says that the witnesshood of Sakshi is never lost. Knowing this Sakshi as my real nature, I become immortal. This is a clean mantra for moksha. So we have to disidentify with the Vritti Jnanam all the thoughts which happen in our waking state till today. From childhood till today, drop it. They are not my real nature. My real nature is the witness Sakshi. Viparilopaha drishyate. These two words are very important in this Brihadaranyaka Upanishad mantra. If you hold on to that witness Sakshi, then only you can say that the world is mithya. This is an extremely important point. Don't try to say world is mithya in the waking state itself when you are identified with the body and say the world is mithya. No, it cannot be done. What you have to have in mind is I am Sakshi, I am Turiya Atma, And whatever I perceive in the world is mithya. That is how we should have a vision of this world. So different mantras were given, different reasons were given in the 28th mantra, 22nd mantra, and other texts. Basically, one more point Shankaracharya brings out in the following slides is he talks about attribute of an object. The attribute of the object is always attached to the object. The heat of the fire is there only in the fire. You cannot separate the heat of the fire separately. What Shankaracharya's reply to the Shanika Vijnanam is, you are talking of momentary consciousness. Momentariness is an attribute of consciousness. Try to understand this point. If you say momentariness is the attribute of consciousness, then what are you doing? You are trying to objectify the consciousness. This is a very important Shankaracharya's brilliant argument. You say it's momentary, consciousness is momentary. Okay, suppose we take your view. Which means what? You are objectifying consciousness. But what does the Veda teach us? Veda teaches us Atma is unobjectifiable. You can never objectify Atma. You're trying to see the vritti in your mind, which belongs to the mind, and you're objectifying the vritti. You cannot objectify Atma. Why? Because Nityam is Swarupam of Atma. How do I know Nityam is Swarupam of Atma? I use the Veda Pramana. The Veda, when Shankaracharya says, for me to know that I am Nityaha, I use the pramanam of Shastra. And I say I am Nityaha, I am deathless. So if somebody asks you, how do you say you are deathless? You are the body. Aren't you the body? Then you should tell him, I am not looking at the body. I am looking at the consciousness or awareness in this body. That consciousness is deathless. If somebody asks you, who says that awareness is deathless? When the body goes away, awareness also goes, isn't it? Then how should you reply to him? You should say, the Veda, Bhagavad Gita and Upanishad, they tell me I am Nitya Swarupaha, Nirvikara Swarupaha, like we did yesterday in Bhagavad Gita, in the 12th and 13th mantra of second chapter. Nirvikara Swarupa, Nitya Swarupa. Because it is Nirvikaraha, there are no modifications in the Atma. Therefore, we say it is Nityaha. See, logic reasons can be given once you have understood the Shastra as the primary pramana. Kaivalya Upanishad says, Na bhumi rapo cha navanni rasti, na chanilo mesti na chambaram cha. There is no earth, there is no panchabhutas. But from what level? From the Atma level. From the Atma level, from the Turiyam level, the lower order of reality is negated. So, when we claim Nityaha, Chaitanyam, continuously existing consciousness, we use the sentence Aham Nityaha. I am immortal. I am the subject. I don't make it as an object. And I also use the Shastra Pramanam, which says Atma is Nirgunam. There is no attribute at all in Atma. Therefore, Atma cannot perish. If something has an attribute, something is a part, if an object has got different parts, then it can perish. But something like Atma is beyond time. It is a content of this universe. And no words can describe this Atma, yatho vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha. Then Purva Pakshi asks a question. You say Atma is Sarvagya and the individual body is Alpagya. Now, how do you say that they are not attributes of Atma? To that, Shankaracharya says that it is during Adhyaropa Kala, we use Alpagya Jivatma and Sarvagya Paramatma. During Adhyaropa stage, we say that the Lord is inside us. To negate the feeling that he is not only inside, he is also outside, we say he is Sarvagya, Sarvashaktiman. In order to negate what? Alpagyatvam, that means finitude, I say Lord is infinite. Turiam is infinite. Atma by its own nature is neither finite or infinite. Because yatho vacho nivartante. So we don't, Shankaracharya's argument is you don't have a pramanam to prove that Atma is momentary. There is no pramana. Momentariness of thoughts with reflected consciousness, we accept. That is what we say is our experience in the world. Every moment we experience. But that experience is what? It is consciousness, the original consciousness, which is reflected in my mind. And in the mind, there are thoughts which are continuously bombarding. Thoughts of the world, the objects of the world, they come and hit the mind. And whenever, suppose I hear a sound, you're listening to the talk. That means in your mind, there is a sound, vritti. And there is a consciousness which is observing that. This sound vritti is not nityam, it is anityam. Every moment, every minute, the sound changes. So Mandukya Upanishad's 7th mantra clearly says that Atma can't be objectified. Therefore, now Gaudapadacharya says he banks the Purva Pakshi, that is Shanika Vijnanavadis. He says, suppose you say that I can see the Atma, it is like saying I am seeing the footprints of a bird flying in the sky. Can you ever see a footprint in the sky? Impossible. So Gaudapadacharya uses this language to negate the Buddhistic theory. The Shanika Vijnanavadis, they talk about origination of consciousness, momentary of consciousness, and sorrow which belongs to the consciousness. Three things. Therefore, in Buddhism, what they say is the truth of suffering is there, the truth of origin of suffering is there, and the truth of cessation of suffering is there. So the entire marga, Buddhist marga, is sarvam shanikam, sarvam dukkham. You realize that everything is momentary, and you get rid of your soul. This is their matam. This is their way of giving the ultimate truth. Then comes another Vadi called as Shunyavadi. This is another school of Buddhism. What do they say? They say consciousness is not momentary. Ultimately, it is not there at all. The momentary consciousness goes away. Then what is ultimate truth? They say ultimate truth is emptiness. Blankness is the truth. That is what is called as Shunyavad. So those who attribute Atma with qualities of Shanikatvam, Dukkhitvam, origination, emptiness, they are all talking of Anatma. They are not talking of Atma. This is the conclusion of Gaudapadacharya and Shankaracharya. Shanika Vijnanam Vadis, they also agree that ultimately only subject consciousness is there. There is no outside objects. There is only one Vijnanam. But they don't accept matter is other than consciousness. So Shunyavadi is also called as Nagarjuna. Nagarjuna was the founder of this Shunyavadi, Madhyamika Buddhism. And traditional scholars of Advaita, they reject the Nagarjuna schools. So the basic mistake we should not mistake whenever we are talking about our real nature is don't have any attribute attached to Atma. Consciousness cannot be objectified. If consciousness objectifies itself, it has to divide itself into observer and observed, seer and seen, perceiver and perceived. But Upanishad says that consciousness is akhandam, indivisible. The eyes can see everything in the world except themselves. One finger can touch all other things in the world, but the finger cannot touch itself. You can make so many calls out of your mobile phone, but a mobile phone cannot call itself. So similarly, consciousness is aware of the entire cosmos, but consciousness is not aware of itself. So this is how we should also try. See, when we study all this, what happens is that our own ideas, our own concepts about Turiya Atma, they get refined. So Shunyavada we have discussed now, and Shunyavadi, the way he says is, observer is Shanika Vijnanam, observed world is the objects, but both are mithya. The observer is also mithya, observed world is also mithya. Subject and object both are mithya. Therefore, in Shunyavadi, mithya means there is nothing. Beyond this mithya, there is nothing else. Then Mahayani and Shunyavadi, they ask a counter question to Advaita. Okay, you have defeated all of us through your arguments. Now you tell me what is Satya. We have analyzed the world, we have concluded that it is mithya. We have seen observer is also mithya, observed is also mithya. Observer is gone, observed is also gone. I don't see anything. Everything is gone. I only see shunyam. This is where Shankaracharya catches. How do you see shunyam? There must be some Chaitanyam which is observing the shunyam. That Chaitanyam which observes the shunyam is the adhishthanam on which all these mithya vastus are coming and going. Rope is the adhishthanam for the rope snake which I have been experiencing wrongly. Waking dream sleep is a mistaken experience. Why? Because I don't know Adhisthana Atma, Turiya Atma. I am the witness Adhishthanam of the Shunyam. Shunya Sakshi can never be negated. See, what a brilliant argument. This is an extremely important argument, and it also helps me to understand that in the sleep state, I, the Sakshi, Turiya Atma, exist. This is a practical lesson for all of us. Now we have seen all the theories. What is the practical benefit I get out of it? I can discriminate the Sakshi of the three states. Sakshi, what is the definition of Sakshi? It never changes. Nirvikara. It is Nityaha. It is Satyam. It can exist independently. These three factors you remember. And then you apply it and say, in the sleep state, I am the Sakshi of the mind which is sleeping. When the mind is sleeping, there is no world which is experienced. Therefore, Adhisthana Sakshi is the ultimate truth. The world which is experienced in the three states is like rope snake. I can negate them when I am standing as Sakshi. Very important final analysis of Gaudapadacharya. There has to be a witness for the Shunyam. If you negate everything, means you negate yourself also, who is the witness of Shunyam. Then Shankaracharya, like Gaudapadacharya says it's like you're trying to see footprints when there are no footprints in the sky. Shankaracharya says you're trying to catch the akasha, space in your hands, by trying to say that there is shunyam. You are missing the adhishthanam, which is Turiya Atma. See, such a long commentary for this verse. It takes time to understand the full nature of this commentary, but as long as you pick some of the main topics, it is good. It only refines the understanding of Atma. With this 28th Karika, we have finished the 20th volume of Mandukya Upanishad. See, these volumes are there in the website. And the 21st volume starts with 4,000 pages. So we have finished almost 4,000 pages of notes which we have discussed in our classes during the last 2 years. From 29, this volume goes from Karika number 29 to 40. About 12 Karikas are there. And what we are seeing now is further consolidation of our Advaita Matam. Totally, there are 100 Karikas. We are now in the 29th Karika. So in this Karika, it is a consolidation. So what have we seen so far? See, we are seeing the logic behind our philosophy. We have to use the Shastra, whatever statements the Shastra gives, and then we have to apply logic so that my intellect will not question me. See, otherwise, every time our intellect will keep on questioning, how is this possible? How is that possible? Till your intellect is satisfied, questions will come up in your mind. But suppose you have understood the last discussion. I am the Shunya Sakshi. I am the Sakshi of blankness seen in meditation. Many people come and say, in meditation, I've seen blankness. After seeing the blankness, you should apply this rule. The one which sees the blankness, I am the one, I am the Turiya Atma, which is seeing the blankness. I only claim that and nothing else. Claiming the Sakshi, Shunya Sakshi, is the ultimate in Vedanta. Ultimate. Beyond that, there is nothing. Because, see, that is the Adhisthana. So far we have seen Sankhya Yoga, Nyaya Vaiseshika. This is two groups which are Astikas, who believe in the Veda. Then we have seen Nastikas, Hinayana, which consists of Sautrantika and Vaibhashika. They don't believe in the Vedas. Then we have seen the fourth pair, which is Shanika Vijnanam, momentary consciousness, and Shunyavadi, which is nothingness. So 8 schools have been negated by Gaudapadacharya. 4 Astikas and 4 Nastikas. 7 schools, they talk of creation, origination of the world and consciousness. In all of these 7 schools, they don't believe in an adhishthanam, a substratum on which we make the error of taking the world as real. It's a very, very important, very subtle point in Vedanta. The world which we experience, including our body, mind, and the entire cosmos, is there, but it is a projected world by Turiya with Maya Shakti. Everything is appearance, like the dream on the substratum of screen of consciousness. Like the waker will say, the dream is there in me. A Turiya Atma, a Jnani who knows Turiya Atma, he'll say the waking state is an appearance in me, the consciousness. All mithya appearances are supported by adhishthanam. That adhishthanam, substratum, is satyam, and whatever we see as appearances or experiences in life, including sukham and dukkham, which Arjuna faced in Bhagavad Gita, ultimate teaching to him is all this is mithya. Only a jnani can understand this because he has been able to dwell deep into his mind. I alone exist, everything else is appearance. So what do we have to do? We have to differentiate appearances in the waking state, dream state, and the sleep state. In the sleep state, it is blankness. In the dream state, it is a world which is projected by the mind. vasanas. It's a vasana-oriented dream world. What about the waking world? Waking world is Maya Shakti. It is born out of ignorance of the Turiya Atma. So Satyam and Mithya. Brahma Satyam or Aham Satyam and Jagan Mithya. This is, we have seen this Dakshinamurti Stotram many times. Universe is not born, it is an eternal appearance. Atma is also eternal, the world is also eternal. The world appears in two formats. One is manifest, another is unmanifest. I am the one who is witnessing the unmanifest form of the world in the sleep state. This topic, that the world which we are seeing is mithya, was introduced in the 3rd chapter, 2nd mantra, and it is being concluded in the 4th chapter, 28th verse. So almost 60 verses we have seen for Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. Turiyam Satyam, waking, dream, sleep is Mithya appearance. Where does it appear? In Satya Turiya Atma. Don't forget this. Ultimately, you should not negate everything in the world and then say Shunya. Many people come after studying a bit of Vedanta, little bit here and there, they say, yes, I read somewhere the world is blank. No blankness. There's nothing in the world. But that is not the correct way to learn the Upanishads. You must understand the full gist of the Upanishads. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it very clearly says that a person who knows this Turiya Atma, he is fearless. Why fearless? Because there is nothing else apart from me, the Turiya Atma. I am Nitya Mukta Brahma. This knowledge is completed in the 29th Karika. We'll see this mantra.
Ajatam jayate yasmat. Ajatam jayate yasmat. Ajati prakritistatah. Ajati prakritistatah. Prakrite anyatha bhavaha. Prakrite anyatha bhavaha. Na katham chit bhavishyati. Na katham chit bhavishyati.
So this is the conclusion of the verse, which gives the idea of Ajatam Brahma. Brahman or Turiyam is unborn. It is birthless, it is deathless. So knowing this Turiyam as I can say, I am birthless, I am deathless. This is a higher order of reality. It is like you are waking up to your real nature. That means your ignorance is gone. What was the ignorance projecting? I am the waker, I am a husband, I am a wife, I am a son, I am a daughter, all attached to the body and mind. I am rich, I am poor, I am sick, I am dukhi, sorrowful. All this is lower order of reality, like the dream world. In the dream, I was having so many problems, but nothing affects me when I woke up. Similarly, you have to wake up from the waking state to the Turiya Atma and then say, I am birthless, I am deathless. The waker never creates a real dream world. Very beautiful analysis of Shankaracharya. the waker never creates a real dream world. See, that is why whenever we try to understand Advaita, Vedanta, always use the dream experience. What is the dream? It is an unreal world. Similarly, I, the Turiya Atma or Brahman, never create a real waking world. It is a mithya world. What a brilliant argument. Because dream is mithya, I stand now as a waker, I can declare dream is mithya. Now I have understood Mandukya Upanishad. I am Turiya Atma. I am not a waker, dreamer, sleeper. I am of a higher order of reality. I am Paramarthika Swarupam. From that Paramarthika Swarupam, which is Turiya Atma, then I say the waking world is not a real world. Akaranatvam is the nature of Brahma. Akaranatvam. That means it is never a cause of anything. Brahman cannot become a karanam. The world, therefore we say, world cannot become karyam. The waker cannot become a karanam of the dream world because dream world is mithya. Rope is not the karanam of rope snake because rope snake is mithya. For a junior student, we start like this. There is a karanam, there is a karyam, there is a cause, there is an effect, there is gold, and there is an effect called a chain, ring, bangle. So try to look at the gold whenever you're looking at the chain, ring, or bangle at the junior level. Then what do we say? That gold is the adhishtanam. Everything else is mithya, adhyasam. Instead of karyam, we say it is adhyasa. Adhyasa means just an appearance. Snake has not originated from the rope. Very clear. It is there in your mind. It is not outside. The rope has not been created by the rope. Snake is not created by the rope. Snake is an appearance on the rope. World has not originated from Turiya Atma. World is an appearance in Turiya Atma. Similarly, mirage water is an appearance in the sand. Dream is an appearance in the waker. Silver is a false appearance in the shell. The world of waking, dream, sleep is all an appearance in consciousness. See, this slide which I have got is very, very important. When you go through these 4 examples, then you attack and say, yes, now I understand that the waking world is also an appearance. Brahman has never become a karanam at any time, because if it becomes a karanam, again there will be dvaita. If world is only an appearance, then the Purva Pakshi is asking, why did the Upanishad say tasmad vaye tasmad akasha sambhutaha? This is a question by the Purva Pakshi. I'm sure all of you know the answer. The answer is junior student. In the beginning, you cannot tell a student that the whatever you are seeing in the world is mithya. It's very difficult for a junior student to accept it. In every Upanishad, we start with the Srishti Prakaranam. There were Panchabhutas, the Akasha was created, then the Vayu was created, then the Prithvi was created, then the Panchabhutas, they got mixed up together, and then we had the gross elements. All this is for the junior student. Similarly, in Chandogya, that is Taittiriya Upanishad. In Chandogya, we say, Sadeva Saumyam Idamakre Asit. Sat alone was there in the beginning. From that Sat alone, then the Panchabhutas came, and the same story repeated. Even in Tattvabodha, we say world is a dream, family, bank account, everything is a dream if you look at yourself as consciousness. World is a dream we understand only when you come to Mandukya. Till then, we say there is a Maya Shakti. That Turiyam has got a Maya Shakti. Up to the point of Adhyaropa. This is still Adhyaropa. When you come to negate, when you come to Apavada, negation, that is the time when we say there is no Maya, there is no Srishti. Turiya Atma alone is there. For a junior student, creation is mentioned, Adhyaropa stage. For a senior student, creation is Mithya, it is negation stage, Apavada stage. In all these discussions, in the 4th chapter, 3rd chapter, 2nd chapter, Gaudapada Charya has only one objective. He has given so many verses, all to prove what? Waking state is dream number 2. We all know the dream number 1, but now, after standing as Turiya Atma, then we can say waking is dream number 2. Upanishads declare Turiyam as Avyavaharyam. We are going to meditate on this today. Avyavaharyam. Avyavaharya means there is no transactions happening in Turiya Atma because it is of a higher order of reality. In the waking state, which is Vyavaharikam, transactions do happen, lower order. But in Atma, in Turiya Atma, there is no transactions. You alone are. That is the truth. World has 2 components. One component is Maya, which is the matter component, which is inert in nature. It cannot know I, the Turiya Atma. Matter, body cannot know I, the consciousness. I, the consciousness, know the matter. The Adhyasa component is the existence which is borrowed from Brahman. Our Jnani's vision is I am unborn. Ajnani's vision is I am born with a body-mind complex. I am a finite individual. See the difference between the 2 visions. Till I am able to get the Jnani's vision that I am not born as this body, I am the ever-existing consciousness, you must continue your spiritual study. The moment you understand I am the Chaitanya Atma, I have got no connection with the body-mind complex or the world, then your spiritual study is complete. So world is not a karyam, it is not a product from Brahman, which is what the other schools like Sankhya, Yoga, everybody believes. Even science believes it is a product of something. Product, it's a matter, right? Matter is product. Energy is a product. Whenever you focus on Karanam and Karyam, you are always in triangular format. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. There is a creator, real Jagat, real Jiva. What about Advaitam? Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara is Adhyasa. It is superimposition. On me, the Turiya Atma, and I am the substratum, I am the adhishtanam. When I say I am the substratum, then you have a flexibility to negate everything. That is why we say bhaditam. You don't destroy the world. You only negate the world intellectually by saying I am the substratum. Vakar is the substratum for the dream world. Turiya Atma is the substratum for the waking world. Advaita Makaranta is a very beautiful text, and which says that if I am fully established in this Turiya Atma is without a beginning and without an end. And what about the world then? The world is illusionary, it is coming and going. Even Ishvara is adhyasa on me, the Turiyam. Very bold statement. Ishvara means the creator. Paroksha, when I say Ishvara is in Vaikunta or in, then it is Paroksha. He is in Shiva Loka, Vishnu Loka, he is Paroksha. I am separate, Vishnu is separate, he is in separate world, I am in a different world. Whenever you say, I am seeing Ishvara, it is pratyaksham for me. Yesterday I got Ishvara in my dream. That is adhyasa. It is superimposition. So Ishvara can be looked at as paroksham. Ishvara can be looked at as pratyaksham, which is adhyasa. Adhyasa means it is a illusion. Suppose you say that Ishvara is aparoksha Atma. That Ishvara who is in Vaikunta or Shivaloka or the heavens, he is there right now inside me as the self of this body. That is called as aparoksha Atma. There is no difference between me and Ishvara. I have joined him. I was never away from him. That is why the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the 20th verse, the first vibhuti given out by the Lord to Arjuna. What is that vibhuti? Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarvabhuta Shayastitaha Aham Adishya Madhyam Cha Bhutanam Anta Evacha. Bhutanam Anta Evacha. I am the inner essence of all the beings. Proud proclamation by Lord Krishna. In whichever yuga you may be, that Turiya Atma is the very essence of this body-mind complex. At the same time, it is transcendent. It can be independent of the world. It can be independent of the body. Now, here we just look at the revision portion a little bit. In Sankhya philosophy is Satkaryavada. Satkaryavada means world is born from an existent Sat. Nyaya Vaiseshika is Asatkaryavada. World is born out of non-existent something. Hinayana, Sautrantika, they say Sanghatavada, which means Karya Karanavada. Karanam is consciousness and Karyam is the word. Madhyamika Shanika Vijnanavada, they say there is no origination of the world, but there is origination of momentary consciousness. So in the third chapter, in the second mantra, Gaudapadacharya had said, this is the third chapter, Karika. This is where he started the Ajativada, that there is no origination for the world. Till this 29th Karika, he established that the world is not born, but it is an appearance. So from Karika third chapter, second verse, till the fourth chapter, 28th verse, we have been discussing one topic, Ajativada. Such a long, so many verses, all to say that world has no origination. It is an ever appearing world. World is appearance, like rope snake. I am the rope. I am the Turiya Atma, which is the Adhishtanam. If there is no origination of the world, then what is there? That is what is explained in the seventh mantra of the Upanishad. Na anta prajnam, na bahish prajnam, no bhayata prajnam. Chaturtham manyante sa atma sa vigneya. When you compare the waking, dream and sleep as three different states, then compared to the three states, we say Turiyam is the fourth state. But when you have negated the waking, dream and sleep as mithya, what exists is not the fourth state, but what exists is the only state, not even a state. When we negate the dream world, what do we say? Waker alone is there. Similarly, when we negate the waking world, what do we say? Turiyam alone is there. Before the study of Upanishad, world was real for us. It had originated from God. It is originated from Brahman or some philosophy, Paramanu or matter principle and so on. But after the study of Mandukya Upanishad, what do we say? World is like the dream. It is an appearance. It has no origination. And but from where does that originate? It originates from Satya Vastu, which is called as Turiya. In Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, 3rd verse, Na rupamasye tatato balapyate, nanto na chadin na cha sampratishta, ashvattamenam suviruda moolam, asanga shastrena dridena chitva. Lord Krishna says exactly the same what we have studied in the Mandukya. Now, Rupamasya, the world has, I don't know from where it is a beginningless world. This Ashwatha tree, I don't know where is the beginning, where is the end, it's so huge. But how do I understand this world? With the help of Asanga Shastra. Asanga Shastra means I use the axe of Asangaha. What Asangaha? I am Turiyam Asangaha, and whatever I am seeing is Mithya. Whatever I said before, world matter has got two forms, two appearances. One appearance is manifest state. Don't forget this, because without this, you cannot get moksha. 100%, because this understanding of this truth is very important. The world is matter principle. It has got two levels of existence. One is manifest form, another is unmanifest form. Manifest form is the Jagrat and Swapna, waking and dream. Unmanifest form is the blankness experienced in Sushupti, in the sleep state. What about I, the Sakshi, the witness of the unmanifest and the manifest? I have no form. I am formless Turiya Atma. Understand the sleep description in the fifth mantra of Mandukya Upanishad. In the deep sleep state, it is a unified, undifferentiated state, homogeneous mass of consciousness, full of bliss, because there is a reflection of consciousness in that Karana Avastha. Knowing that Karana Avastha is the last step in our moksha journey. After that, you should only claim, I am the consciousness which is ever there, Nityaha Nirvikara Swarupa. Madhyamika says is blankness, but Vedantin says appearance of world in Sushupti is blankness. There is only a Karana Turiya Atma. So junior student and senior student, I have already explained to you. Junior student, there is Karanam, whereas for a senior student, there is only Adhyaropa stage. Adhyaropa Apavada is the methodology of understanding the world. For student, junior student, he thinks that Brahman is Satyam. Pratyaya Karnatvam means it is real status. But for teacher, the world is Mithya status. Okay. So this is the end of the 29th Karika. This is the beginning of the 30th Karika. I'll just introduce you and then we can see it in detail next week. World is eternal consciousness. I am that consciousness. This is an important shloka. Mula Prakriti, Paramano, they are originations in the other philosophers. But we refute their philosophies. In science, we say conservation of matter energy. That means the world continues in some form or the other. World is eternal, but it is not real, according to Vedanta. World is eternal, it is unreal appearance, like rope snake. Now you can understand what the significant example is this rope snake. It took me almost 10-15 years to understand rope snake example. Why are they giving it in this in Advaita? When you come to Mandukya, then only you realize the entire waking, dream, sleep, all that is only nothing but rope snake. And rope is the Atma, which is consciousness. Samsara is not real for us. Therefore, we can talk about moksha. All other schools are working for moksha, but they cannot get moksha because they are Dvaita philosophers. In Advaitam alone, we talk of moksha because world is a false appearance. It can never touch me, the Atma. I am Asangaha. I am Nitya Mukta Swarupaha. We have seen this so many times. Okay. This is the actual verse. We'll just play this verse.
Anaderantavatvam cha Anaderantavatvam cha Sansarasya na setsyati Sansarasya na setsyati Anantata chadimato Anantata chadimato Mokshasya na bhavishyati Mokshasya na bhavishyati.
So in this, there is a Puro Pakshi who is asking a question. He is asking, does samsara have a beginning or no beginning? If samsara is beginningless, then it will be endless. Then moksha is not possible in your theory. Samsara will never end. You talk about a beginningless samsara, but you also talk of a end of samsara. He is addressing the Advaita. When I say that there is no, when I say the same truth, you say that is mother-in-law logic. Which means when I say the truth, you don't accept it. When I say when you say it, then how come I have to accept it? Anadi samsara. This is Shankaracharya's answer. This is Gaudapada's answer. What he says is Anadi samsara, beginningless samsara is there. But is it real or unreal? If it is real samsara, it will be endless. But what I am trying to say is that samsara, which I have been thinking as samsara, the sorrows in life, which I have been thinking as real, the Veda proves now that it is unreal. So mithya samsara can be without a beginning. In the wake of knowledge, it can end. Like rope snake. See, rope snake, I can end with knowledge of the rope. So similarly, when I know the Sakshi, the mind gets negated. See how in Advaita philosophy, we are able to negate the entire mind also. Mind is nothing but like rope snake, it is mithya. Actually, it is not there, it is an appearance. If mind is mithya, all the perceptions which I am seeing, they are all mithya. So what is Satyam? Sakshi. So world is like the rope snake, therefore samsara, we say, comes to an end. Samsara never existed in 3 periods of time. It is badaha. Badaha means it can be negated. That badaha is what is mentioned in the 7th mantra. Na antaprajnam na vaishprajnam. In this mantra, the waker is unreal, the dreamer is unreal, the sleeper is unreal. What exists is Turiyam, the truth. If I know this truth, all the Sanchita karmas are burnt. There is no more samsara because there is no more. I mean, I would have roasted that seed of samsara. For other schools, samsara is anadi and ananta. Anadi means beginningless, ananta means endless. Samsara is beginningless, but it has an end in moksha. So, I will stop with this particular page and we'll continue this 30th verse. Next week, 4087 at Karika, number 30. Okay, we'll stop here for today. So what we have learned today is the final truth of Advaita philosophy, which is Aham Satyam Jagan Mithya. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.